Once again, guys, Brittany, yourself, along with First Steps for having me. Wanted to come in. I asked Brittany about, allow me to come in and speak with her parents so we can explain our services. Basically, we provide BabyNet services, which is Bright Beginnings, early intervention services with our services. And this is actually going to go real quick. So even in the midst of me speaking, if you guys have any questions, just stop me at any time because I ramble a lot or whatever. But as far as the services, we serve Darlington County as a whole. Basically, what BabyNet services is we're serving kids throughout Darlington County. It's a service that provide services to kids, basically basic babies and infants, ages 0 to 3. So any kid that have developmental delays, it's a system of services that support babies with developmental delays, or even kids with any type of diagnosis coming home from the hospital, whether that kid was born prematurely or whatever. Basically what we do, our goal is to increase, and I'm actually looking over at my notes too, even though I know this offhand, but I'm trying to hit everything because sometimes there's so much out there, we tend to kind of skip and kind of leave out some of the things that we provide. But basically our goal is to increase developmental and educational gain with our children. Of course, BabyNet Services is a federally mandated program, so it's at no cost. Basically what we do, if we find a kid, whether it's through a daycare provider, look at a sweet baby, whether it's through a daycare provider, whether a parent, physician make referrals, anyone can make referrals. And basically what they're looking for are kids with developmental delays. And these developmental delays go into the areas of cognitive, communication, socialization, and motor skills, whether it be fine motor and gross motor. So when we think about cognitive skills, cognitive delay, we're thinking about whether a kid is able, if they're at the appropriate age level, as far as like 2 or even 1, we look at matching and sorting, whether they pay attention to what was asked of them, even if they're recollecting what was actually asked. If I say, Johnny, can you hand me that? Give me the cup off the table. Having Johnny understand what I asked. Good to have you with me, join. Also just solving problems. Also, as far as the motor delay, there's 2 types of motor delays. We have the fine motor and the gross motor. So even if you have a baby that's not crawling, pulling up, cruising furniture, fine motor, we look at grasping and manipulating, whether they can actually, if they're picking up a block, are they picking it up open-handedly? Are they using pencil grasp when they're writing? We can even look at things such as, even if they're picking up a Cheerio, are they using the pointing finger and the thumb to actually pick it up? Are they picking it up forward or picking up sideways? So it's little things that we look at to see if the kid qualify for services. As far as social emotional behavior, we also look at that, whether the kid knows how to socialize, play with other kids. We're looking at eating, toileting, are they able to make choices? So those are the different things. And when we come to speech, as far as communication, of course, we look at the 2 between speech. We look at receptive communication and expressive communication. You may have a kid that may not be saying anything at probably about 7 to 8 months, not babbling, not saying any single words. Those are the things that we look at and that qualifies the kid. Now, those are the developmental delays, and it gets a little bit deeper and whatnot. But basically, if a parent is interested in services, of course, there's the BabyNet coordinator, which is SPO, which is called System Point of Entry. And it's through DHHS. That's who we contract with. So you make a referral to BabyNet services, which I'll give you guys that number and that website at the end. If you were to make a referral, your SPO coordinator will contact the parent. You will actually call that first you'll call that 1-800 number or go on the website and actually inform them that I have a kid that I think may have some developmental delays or may not be, doing whatever the kid is actually doing. They will gather all the information The information is gathered in the main SPO office in Columbia. It's then sent out to the region director, which our region is over here in, director is over in Columbia. Like I said, the SPO office, Miss Kathy Cornish is the director over there. They will receive the BabyNet referral call, the parent come out, and I actually think they do the intake at you guys' facility. Miss Tamika Sellers, Tamika, yeah, Tamika is our contact person. So Tamika serves Darlington County, Chesterfield, and some other areas. But once Tamika received that referral, whether it's Tamika, Linda Howard, there's a couple SPO coordinators. Once they receive that referral, they'll come out and actually meet with you guys and assess the kid. If the kid qualifies for services based on any of those delays, then they would give you something called choice of provider. Choice of provider is basically where we come in. We're Bright Beginners Early Intervention Services. We're located here in Hartsville. We're pretty much in the house administrative building of Darlington County Disability Special Needs Board. But our program is Bright Beginners Early Intervention Services. There are other programs out there that provide the same services. So Tamika will give you something called a choice of provider. If you go through that, make sure you choose Bright Beginners Early Intervention Services, which I'm Joni Pendergrass, once again, the Early Intervention Supervisor. Once Tamika sent me the case, once I received the case, I then contact the family. We put a CBA in place, which is a curriculum-based assessment. Even though the kid already qualifies for services, our assessment is basically to see what we need to focus on. Once I do that CBA, then we'll create an IFSP, which is an individual family service plan, which is basically goals written. If I have a kid that's not saying single words, I may say I want Johnny to say, be able to verbally communicate in 1 to 2 word phrases. It could be, I want Johnny to crawl or pull up on furniture. It could be, I want Johnny to be able to follow 1-step directions, because if I tell Johnny to get something off the table or hand me that, or if Johnny is not pointing or whatever, those are the type of goals that we kind of write. So they're simple goals. Once that IFSP is actually written, then I will assign the case to an early interventionist. That's pretty much what we're called. That early interventionist will come out and do something called family training. That's where we bring the toys in, we work, sit on the floor, work with the kid one-on-one. Whatever goal that we have written for the kid with the parent, whatever the parent wants to work on, that's pretty much what we kind of work on, focus on. So we come in, we work, sit on the floor, work with the kid. It looks like we're playing. It looks nice to meet you, Kyra.
Hi.
Hey, basically it looks like we're playing, but actually we're really teaching. And we have to review that CBA, that curriculum-based assessment, every 6.
Uh-oh, Miss Pendergrass. I'm sorry, I was muting out folks so we wouldn't have any echoes. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
I'm good now. Okay. So basically what we do, we bring toys inside the home, sit on the floor, play with the kid, but we're teaching through that curriculum-based assessment, the things that the child is not doing. That's what we're kind of focusing on. And a lot of people like to say, well, my child does this, child does that. But once you get into that curriculum-based assessment, you'll realize a lot of things that I never noticed that my child is not doing, that we're looking for. So pretty much, like I said, we come inside the home, we play with the kids, we reassess them every 6 months. If we see where the child needs occupational, physical therapy, speech therapy, we make those referrals out. Now through BabyNet, if you have private insurance, a lot of times parents don't like to use their private insurance, so BabyNet will actually cover the cost for those services as far as speech services. Even if you have a deductible that you need to meet for speech or OT or whatever, you don't even have to do that. Use BabyNet services, and we come in and provide the services, they bill BabyNet and you're good. Even if you have Medicaid, because we do bill Medicaid also, but even if you don't have Medicaid, you don't have any insurance at all, then that's okay, because once again, BabyNet is no cost. It's a service that's free to anyone, any kid that actually qualifies. So basically, like I say, once again, we serve kids between the ages of 0 and 3 who have developmental delays or any type of health conditions. The benefits of early intervention is to improve developmental and educational gain. Once again, building confidence, not only in the kid, but in the parent, also being able to tackle social and educational challenges. If you, I'm not gonna go, I'm gonna go there in a minute. And also reducing feelings of frustration with the parent. If you feel that a kid is not doing what he or she should, pretty much we're there to advocate for you and also to assist and guide you. So we're not only working for that kid, we're actually working for you, the family as a whole. And also, once again, help children with developmental delays become productive, independent individuals. And so basically the way we look at it is pretty much we're getting ahead so that we won't be late. We won't start out late. Now, some of the services that we provide, I mentioned family training. Once again, family training, we come inside the home, we work with the kid for an hour, sit on the floor, play with the kid, but we're actually teaching. Another service that we provide is case management. Case management is pretty much making those referrals out, even if it's to First Steps, you guys program, Head Start. We pretty much make recommendations to OTPT, speech, counseling. All those services are actually there. We're the ones that actually set that up. Also, another resource that we actually offer, we offer ABC voucher. ABC voucher, of course, I know they give it through DSS, but we have our own special needs pot of money that we actually provide to the family. So long as the parent is actually working or going to school, you can get an ABC voucher. We'll provide you with an ABC voucher. We'll assist you with completing it. You will send it to our person in Columbia, which is Donna Castings. Donna will actually review the application. So long as you're going to school and working, then you will be able to get an ABC voucher because your child receives services from BabyNet. So the ABC voucher is actually good. You can use it for a daycare. Even without voucher, you can use it for, say if you're not comfortable with your child going to daycare. If you have a family member, long as that family, even if it's a grandmother, long as that grandmother does not stay inside that home, then that grandmother can actually get paid for keeping that child or whatever. So that's one of the good things about the ABC voucher, as far as you can keep it within family if you're not to the point where you're comfortable with your child going into a setting. And that's one of the things that we recommend kids going into daycare settings, because of course we know kids learn from other kids. They feed off each other. I mentioned some of the referrals that we make: occupational, physical, speech therapy. One thing about our services, we have BabyNet provider, just like we're BabyNet provider. So with our speech, OT, and physical therapists, we have them come inside the home. You can go in a clinical setting. Some of the clinical settings here in Hartsville is like Therapeutic Designs, Children's Rehab, which they're not a BabyNet provider. But Therapeutic Designs is one of the BabyNet providers. Not saying that you can't go to Children's Rehab and Nicole Kennedy, which are PT and OT and speech providers, but the difference with a BabyNet provider, say once again, if your insurance does not pay, or even if your insurance gives you so many visits, say probably like 20 visits, once you get to that 20, you at your cutoff. But with BabyNet, it's unlimited. We continue to bill, for those services so the family can continue. Another service that we provide for our kids that may be on the autism spectrum, of course, we do have a program, not a program, but the service of autism, where we actually get those kids tested. If a parent feels that there's some autism going on, we kind of do that when they're closer to 3. But we do have that provider as far as within DDSN that could actually test the kid to see if there's anything, any autism that's going on. And even if there is, even if we do diagnose a kid, or we don't diagnose, even if they find a diagnosis of autism for the kid or with the kid, then there's services that we provide, such as respite, where we actually pay someone to keep your kid. There's a certain amount and so many hours that you can use. We also provide family support. Family support is basically, say if your kid has an autism diagnosis or any type of intellectual diagnosis, not just developmental delay, but if we get into the medical part, if they have a diagnosis, then we have family support. And family support is basically, if your therapist, if your child is going to the therapist, and you know how most autistic kids wear the vests, and the kids with speech, the Z-vibes, different little accessories that the family may not can afford, we take care of all that. All we have to do is submit a packet, get all that stuff paid for. We have paid for iPads, we have paid for, small trampolines, for a kid that has a lot of energy, for he can, jump and bounce. All that stuff is actually taken care of if there is the correct eligibility that's placed on the kid. Another thing, we provide ABA services through BabyNet. So if there is suspected autism or a kid needs ABA, which is applied behavior analysis, we do refer that out, and our ABA therapist could actually come in and work with your kid also. The last service that we provide, or that I'm going to speak of, is transition into school services. I see that you guys have Head Start coming in tomorrow. Basically with our kids, we do something called a transition referral starting at the age of 2. Transition referrals are done between the age of 2 years and 2 years, 6 months. Then we do something called a conference that has to be done by 2 years, 9 months. What we do, we make a referral to Hattie Irvin, which is our LEA person with Darlington County School District. So we work hand in hand with, the school district. Once that referral is actually made, we let Ms. Hattie know, look, I have a 2-year-old that we're working, that we provide services to. Let's see if this kid qualifies for school services. So we make that referral. Darlington County School District, their school psychologist meet once, I think it's the first Friday in every month. It used to be the first Thursday, but I think it's the first Friday now. But, and they're playing catch up with this COVID, but we make a referral to them. Ms. Hattie will actually schedule the parent to come in along with the kid. Once you go to this preschool clinic screening, then they will actually, the school psychologist will test your kid on several areas. They test hearing, vision, speech. They actually test the cognitive level. They basically do a psychological report or evaluation. They do it based on observing the kid and also from parent interview. So once that is actually done, they gather all the information. If the kid qualified for school services through Darlington County School District, then we have 2 PDC classrooms. And when I say PDC classrooms, it's preschool developmental classrooms. One is at Southside, which is Ms. Stephanie Hall is the teacher, great teacher. The classroom at St. John Elementary, which is in Darlington, is Ms. Adams, great teacher also. Ms. Adams is real good. So basically, once the kid qualified for school services, they will go in either one of those classrooms. It used to be a half-a-day session, but it's not a half-a-day session anymore as of this year right here, 2020. They let the kids go all day. Transportation is actually provided. So even if you have a kid that stays in Lamar, it depends on where you zone, whether you will go to your child will go to Darlington or whether they will go to Hartsville. Once again, transportation is provided to school for these kids. Even if you don't want your kid, you say, I don't want my kid to go to Southside, no St. John, I want Head Start. We make referrals to Head Start also. So we do refer our kids over to Head Start. We give the parents that option. Would you like Head Start or would you like the PDC classroom? Both programs are very good. We work with both programs. Now, if your child is 3 years old, because they will start, if they qualify for school services, they will start at the age of 3. And even though BabyNet goes from 0 to 3, if your kids still qualify for services, we do something called a DDSN eligibility, where we get permission to continue to serve your child up until the age of 5. Sometimes it actually goes to 6. It depends on the kid. But we can serve your kid up until the age of 5 if they still qualify. So even when your kid turns 3, say if he or she is not ready to let go yet, and a lot of times we'll hold our kids, especially if the birthday is in like May, we don't want to stop services and then they go all summer with no services, even though they're starting school in August, because 9 times out of 10, usually that kid may regress if they're not active with inside that home. So with us, we stay inside the home until we actually get them into that setting. Now with Head Start, if our kids go to Head Start, qualify for Head Start program, we can do the early intervention services, the family training that I spoke about earlier. We can go inside the school setting and actually provide services to that kid. Even when I mentioned about Darlington County School District, even if your kid does not qualify for all day service, and say your kid just qualified for speech only, then once again, you can go to Head Start. The speech therapist from the school district will go inside Head Start and provide those speech services for your kid. So there's a lot of things out there for our families. It's just pretty much, once again, the services are very good. We're trying to get the families and the kids where they need to be developmentally. If you guys are interested in making a referral or just seeing if your kid qualifies, it does not mean that your kid is special needs or anything like that. That's the myth that everybody, think there's nothing wrong with my baby. But the thing is, we try to catch everything early, because the thing is, what we don't want, even if we have to, that's fine. For our kid to be on an individual educational plan, IEPs, we work with the school district, we set that up, we go to the meetings with you guys to make sure you're getting all the services that you should be getting. So we advocate for you. And once again, like I said, we usually see our families on a weekly basis, so we become like family to the families that we serve. But if you're interested in making a referral for a kid between the age of 0 to 3, and Brittany, I'll put this in the chat when you guys, if there's any questions or anything like that. But of course, you can go on the South Carolina Healthy Connection BabyNet website, which is scdhhs.gov/BabyNet. Once again, that website is scdhhs.gov/BabyNet. You can go on that website. To the right-hand side, it'll ask you, do you want to make a BabyNet referral? You can click on that. You can do it online, or you can actually call this 1-800 number that I'm getting ready to give you. It's actually a 1-866 number. The 1-866 number is 1-866-512-8881. And that's through phone. If you want to call and say, okay, I want to see if my child qualifies for services or whatever, the number is 1-866-512-8881. Now, if you have a kid that's over the age of 3 and you still feel that they're not performing or, educationally or cognitively where they should be, whether it's communication, once again, all those areas that I named, even if it's behavior, pretty much if the kid is over the age of 3, you can actually call there's a 1-800 number that I'm going to give you. It's called DDSN, which is Department of Disability Special Needs. Once again, does not mean that your child has a diagnosis or any type of stipulation or stippler on your child. It doesn't mean that. It's just that your kid is not performing where he or she should be at that appropriate age level, and we're coming in to help that kid get where he or she should be. But that number is 1-800-289-7012. Once again, that's for the ages of 3 to 5 years old. Once again, that number is 1-800-289-7012. And of course, if you guys have any questions after we exit off of here, Ms. Brittany know how to get in contact with me. But I'm going to give you my office number also. It's 843-332-7252. My extension is 1131. Once again, that number is 332-7252, extension 1131. My cell number, work cell number is 843-307-0073. Once again, my work cell is 843-307-0073. And I ask that you call me on my work cell because I work for an agency where they don't do pay for text messages or whatever. So you guys you gotta call me. We're on a budget with this COVID. But that's pretty much what our services entail of. We pretty much have many success stories. We see our kids. Our goal is to pretty much, once our kids start school, that they're in regular educational classrooms. But if they're not, at the beginning, like I said, we're still walking with them and guiding them through that process. But that's basically what we do. If you guys have any questions, you can ask them at this time. Or once again, before I stop, I just want to thank you guys, Ms. Brittany, for making this connect or accepting my connect to actually come on and speak with your parents and your colleagues or whatever. But appreciate everything. And like I said, if you have any questions, just ask me. Ask away.
Thank you so much, Ms. Johnny. I was trying to type while you were talking, but I couldn't keep up.
You got the numbers correct.
So yeah, I was about to ask you, did I have everything correct? I forgot one number that I didn't catch. It was the 1-800 number.
It wasn't a 1-800 number. It was the 1866. I said 1-800 at first, but it's 1866, which is the. Oh, I got to give you the DDSN number. Sorry. The DDSN number is 1-800 289 7012.
All right, I'm going to put that in the chat. So if anyone have any questions or would like to speak with Miss Johnny, individual, you can contact her or screenshot it. So I'm going to add that right now at this moment. But we definitely appreciate it, Ms. Johnny. You covered so much information. I had some questions written down, but you answered them all. So I don't have anything. So you did extremely well on presenting the information and telling us about your services.
Thank
We
you.
really appreciate you taking the time out to do that.
Most definitely.
As well as I want to thank the parents too for joining too.
Most definitely. Like I said, if you guys even want to make a referral, if you don't have, you have my number, you can call me. Or once again, like I say, Miss Tamika Sellers is usually in you guys are not in the building, back in the building yet, are you?
No, not yet. Mm-hmm.
Okay. But like I say, Tamika Sellers pretty much does the intake. I don't know if they back doing they probably doing by phone also or whatever, but just contact Miss Tamika or the BabyNet number there, guide you to Miss Tamika or one of the other coordinators that will actually do the intake. And it doesn't hurt to just see if your kid qualifies. Like I said, we're just coming in to, make sure our kids are where they should be. We know the school system is moving fast and whatnot. So we're just trying to prepare our kids. We're just trying to.
Yes, definitely. So thank you again, Ms. Johnny. Is there any questions that you have for us, for our family or for first?
I pretty much research our program, and that's what you guys got some good programs. And as far as the parents, I'm glad to see the parents on here taking advantage of this information that's actually being given, the resources that's being provided to you guys. I see that they provide incentives and all that other. That's really great. So I want to thank you guys for, just doing an awesome program, working with these families, because we all need guidance. I've been a young parent myself. And at first, I will say, just my little short testimony, my daughter went through actually not early intervention services, but I was one of those parents that was like, my baby don't need nothing and all this other stuff like that. And my baby, we finally got her tested. She was on an IEP. And once you get on an IEP, it doesn't mean that you got to stay there. By us constantly working with her, providing the services that she needs, she worked off her IEP and she graduated with honor classes with a 3.5 GPA. So just because your kid may have, a little bit of challenge, and a lot of times we have the challenge because, we don't know how, or it takes a little bit patience for somebody to, a lot of my parents look at me and be like, do I do this? Do I just pop them? We're not even doing that, because my pastor always said, you can tell a kid to take the trash out, but if you never took that kid to that trash can, told them how to pull up that bag, tie the bag, and do all the other stuff, then they don't know. So that's basically what we're doing. We're taking small steps of teaching so our kids can be where they should be. But thank you guys once again. Thank you, parents, for even taking time out of your day to log in your 30 minutes, 35 minutes. I thank you guys. Appreciate you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Johnny.
All right. Thank you guys. Y'all have a good one.